sleeve. Y'all, happy Mars Day! Happy new moon in Gemini. Did you do your intentions? Did you plant your seeds? I'm Bonnie Gillespie, and we are going to do some chart harmony today. We're going to do a couple of things. One is a quickie that I have been asked to do, and I love doing by request things. So I'm going to do a quick overview of the modalities, aka modes, aka qualities of the signs and how they relate to one another. And then we're going to get into, do you get your woo early? Because I do. And I'm not the only one. When I talk about getting my woo early, I hear from people, yeah, me too, me too, me too. I get my woo early. Do you get your woo early? Tell me. Tell me in the chat. If you are here with me live, if you are watching in replay, use the comments because I will come back around to them. You just saw me putting on my apron. This is something that the brilliant, amazing, wonderful Eliza Rose taught me. She's the business mystic. And I was going through some things after Zooming and live streaming and stuff where I was just like, I'm exhausted. And I didn't expect to be so exhausted all the time. And she said, you have to protect your energy. You have to put something on that is a boundary between you and the rest of the world when you're doing forward-facing things, especially ones where the energy could become, just like energetic hitchhikers can come hop on you. And she said, even just like a little bartending cocktail waitress little apron. And I'm like, oh my God, I wore those all the time when I was bartending my way through college. So of course, I knew exactly what she's talking about. And it protects the lower two chakras. So like those are my places where I need to not make my energy feel compromised, and I can stay grounded and available while letting all the other chakras connect. And then I don't take on too much of other people's stuff. And I'm also reminded when I am taking on anybody else's stuff that I have a buffer. And when I take off the apron at the end of the broadcast, I'm able to shake it out and say everything else that might have gotten on me, energetic hitchhiker style, as you were, head on out. The ride is over. Okay, as always, have you hugged yourself today? And even if you have, do it again because it feels so good. That Gemini sun, Gemini new moon last night. Got to get a little grounded because that's a lot of air. Get that shadow side. How you been? How you feeling? We are entering into some interesting woo. June has a couple of big ticket items. Yeah. Saturn is now in Aries. How's that feeling for you? What was your Saturn in Aries situation like last time? And last time would have been 96, 97, 98. You felt the new moon last night? Yeah. I know, isn't the apron a great idea? Like, no matter what you're doing, it's like how some people, when they're doing hands-on healing work, even just massages, they'll put on a string to remind themselves, don't let the energy travel up the hand and into me. Those are just neat little things that work. Yeah, so you felt the new moon. Let's back up on the Saturn in Aries of it all, because one of the things that is true about slow planets like Saturn is only in each sign 27 years apart. And so it is a little bit of a challenge to notice right away what is different. And what we're getting right now through September 1st is actually a preview of what Saturn in Aries is going to be like from mid-February into 2028. So mid-February 2026 into 2028, we're going to have Saturn in Aries for a couple of years, and we're going to have a really good amount of time to understand what that is all about. But we're getting this preview right now. So from just Saturday until September 1st, we're going to be experiencing Saturn in Aries for the first time since in early degrees since 96. So where were you in 1996? What kinds of things were going on for you? What kinds of themes do you remember? It was funny because I'm like going, okay, so is the Diddy Cassie of it all right now like the Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky of the mid-90s, and the paparazzi being all over people as they're trying to get some things moving forward and share some things that are really hard for them to share. The paparazzi being so extra, and I'm reminded of Princess Diana being chased into the tunnel, and of course having the catastrophic accident that still something should have been done about the paparazzi. It is like I'm seeing the parallels of a lot of those things, and I'm also remembering the Centennial Olympic Park bombing from the '96 Olympics that were in Atlanta and Athens, because I was in Athens. I was the technology coordinator for the soccer stadium in Athens, and which is where all the women's medal rounds were done. And so I wasn't in Atlanta when it happened, but I was a part of the Olympic team, and so it was very definitely top of mind for all of that for me. Let's see what we've got. Trying to research Saturn in Aries, 96, 97. Going to have my Saturn return at 14 degrees. VO. That is exciting. So that probably won't be until 2026, and probably late 2026 at that. We can go look when I've got my screen ready to share the astrology of the now, because I want to do some things for the share that I'm doing. For the share that I'm doing, I want to share my screen. For the teach that I'm doing, I want to share my screen. 96, 98, still in high school, but home life was turbulent. So let's really look at Aries being the sign of the individual. And Daddy Saturn comes in and says rules, boundaries, structure, systems. And Aries goes, nah, none of that. None of that. And you hear me talk about how like Mars doesn't like being in Cancer, because Mars is like, I'm here to go to war, and Cancer goes, here's a kitten, here's a sweater, did you eat yet? You know, all that stuff. And Mars is like, Cancer, no, I need like weapons. Saturn and Aries, similar relationship. We've got Saturn saying, I'm here for structure, for boundaries, for order. These systems are important, and these restrictions are meaningful. And Aries is like, I'm a puppy. You can create, put down pee pads. You can put little boxes around me all you want. I'm gonna figure out a way to get my nose under it and out of it and destroy your favorite handbag. 2026. I was wondering, given it moves so slow. Yeah, VO probably. Well, look, when I have my my Astro Gold software on the screen, remind me to go to 14 degrees Saturn and see what we've got coming for you. It's gonna be fun. Keith, my husband, just had his Saturn return while it was in Pisces. He got 3 hits of it because of retrograde, and so that's something that can happen as well. Due to retrograde, you may get 3 visits, which means then you've got like a 3-act structure. Jeanine says, graduating college, figuring out work now too, because leaving teaching. Jeannie, look at that. Look at that. Saturn's gonna do it. And especially Saturn in Aries is going to say, where can I be my individual self? Where can I learn boundaries? And where Aries can I learn no and still explore, still go discover things? Because that's a big Aries value, is like, I want to go learn by doing. Okay, cool. So the quick teach that I want to do, and then we will do the bigger teach that I want to do, is I want to talk to you about modalities. Modalities, aka qualities, aka modes. All 3 terms work, as in all things astrology. There are more terms for things than we probably need, but roll with it. That's what we got. These are cardinal, fixed, mutable. You hear these used a lot. You may not really think about what they mean and what they do. And so I've got a couple of slides I'm going to show as well. But first, I'll just do the quick rundown of what you need to understand about how they relate, because we have these 4 signs in each of the 3 modalities, each of the 3 qualities, and the signs that are of certain qualities or certain modalities relate with one another, even though they're all of different elements. And so the way that they do what they do might be different, because they come from, fire, earth, air, water. They're going to have a different relationship with the elements that they pull from to do what they do. But in general, there's a disposition that comes with these qualities or modalities. And so Cardinal, think of Cardinal as the leader. The Cardinal is the one that's going to be bossy AF. The Cardinal is the one that, even if they don't want to be the leader, they're going to be looked to for leadership. Even if they are a hot mess, people are still going to perceive that the cardinal signs know what they're doing and are whom to follow. Whether that's true or not, that remains to be seen. But the cardinals have just this vibe of authority. And it is something that I have tracked again and again, depending on where in your chart you have the cardinal signs, because we all have all 12 signs. The cardinal signs create a relationship of authority for the houses that they are in. So when we get to those signs, I'll just go ahead and tell you, and then I'll share the slide. I don't have to talk through my process, but apparently with Gemini season, yes, I have to talk through my process constantly. For the cardinal signs, we're looking at Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And you can just right now probably think of people who are any one of those 4 signs and go, yep, big boss energy, definitely. When we move to the fixed signs, which is the next set by modality or quality, the fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. These are a little quirky because fixed makes sense when you're thinking about like Taurus or Leo, you know, that they're like planted, they're dug in, they're like, yep, I get it. That feels like a fixed sign. And fixed just means I'm here to uphold what it is that already exists. I'm not here to lead us into a new place. I'm not here to fix anything that's broken. I am here to maintain the status quo. And where that seems a little strange, using the word fixed to describe something like Scorpio, which is all about transformation, or Aquarius, which as an air sign is all over the place, is that you have to remember that both of those signs as well are firmly rooted. The reason that Scorpio will go deep, 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 deep about anything and feel really intense is because she knows she's rooted in that fixed modality. Aquarius knows that it can floop, 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 floop all over the place like those wavy, wiggly balloons outside the used car dealerships, because Aquarius is planted on the ground. It is bolted to the ground, in fact. Otherwise, it would just float off and go be with the aliens. The next set of signs we have are our mutable signs, and these are the ones that are, let's see, starting with Gemini, where we are now, Gemini season. So we've got Gemini, we've got Virgo, we've got Sagittarius, and we've got Pisces. Those are our mutable signs, and our mutable signs are here to go with the flow. They are here to change. They are here to teach us that change is not terrifying. That all life is mutable. We are all constantly evolving and changing, and the mutable signs do it so much that sometimes they forget they are in a body, or that they are actually here in the now. And then you, of course, right now you're going, but Virgos so know that we're here and now. Yes, because Virgos are earth signs. So mutable in that, yes, change is possible, and I love to change. Specifically, Virgo wants to do it in ways it can be seen, like let's heal this, let's fix this, because of that being an earth sign. So there's an interesting dynamic with all of these, and I made these cute little Canva things that I want to show you because, you know, I like my Canva stuff. So let me bring the right app to the fore and see if I can change over my screen. I think I did it. I think you should be seeing my screen now. Let me know in chat if you are not. This right now is my cute little image for the cardinal signs. The cardinal glyph is this triangle looking thing with the dot. And so all cardinal signs can be represented by that cute little thing. And that cute little thing right there says, I take the lead, I can be bossy. If there is a problem, yo, I solve it. That's in the words of scholar and poet Vanilla Ice. I also did a little overlap here for these. This is our air sign Libra, this is our water sign Cancer, this is our fire sign Aries, our earth sign Capricorn. And where they overlap, you can see how they relate with one another even more. So like Libra and Capricorn, they're going to have notes. They've got notes for you. They've been paying attention. They have notes. Libra and Cancer, secretly I'm a mess. And maybe not so secretly. Meltdowns, definitely likely. With our Aries and Cancer, I'm in charge. That is, you feel that. You're around me, I'm in charge. That's correct. And then with Aries and Capricorn, it's winner takes all, because they are soups competitive, and not in the like Mars kind of competition way, but in the yes, I can achieve. There's a goal, I'm going to go toward it. Aries, because I'm brand new and I'm Mars ruled and I want to go do those things. Capricorn, because if there's a ladder there, I am supposed to climb it. That's what the ladder wants me to do, right? Next, we go over to our fixed signs, and this is the symbol we're looking for to represent fixed, and it is a square with a dash in it. And the fixed sign mantras are, I uphold what is, I roll deep, Slow and steady wins the race. So these are signs that are not looking to rush through things. They are going to take their time. They're going to make it feel like it's real. If we take a look at our relationship between Aquarius and Taurus, we've got my way or the highway. Anybody who's ever known either of those knows that is true. And with Aquarius, it's my way or I will take the highway. With Taurus, it's my way or you will take the highway. It's a different relationship with who's going to leave the relationship, but it is still, it's, my way. The Aquarius and Scorpio overlap is you don't know me, because Scorpio and Aquarius have so much mystery to them and they like it that way. Between Leo and Scorpio, we've got, well, that was dramatic, and it's sometimes them, but it's also what they observe in the world. And if it's Leo and Taurus overlap, that's where we go physical. Like, let's get physical. Let's let it feel really good to be in a body, because those two signs very definitely enjoy the sensual pleasures and feeling alive. When we get to mutable, this is our cute little symbol for mutable signs. It's I flow, I flow, I embrace change. By the way, everything is mutable, because even fixed is mutable. Even like, because our cells are constantly regenerating. Like we everything, this table, this desk is made of atoms, and there's constant motion, and it just happens to be motion in a shape of a desk. And that is like mind-blowing, but true. What they taught you in grade school science, absolutely true and very cool. Everything is mutable. When we get to our relationship here between Virgo and Gemini, can't stop thinking. You can't stop them from thinking. You can't sometimes stop them from talking, but mostly it's you can't stop them from thinking. With our Gemini and Pisces, it's like, whatever, dude. Like, really not into your drama, not interested in whatever it is that you've got going on as much as they're interested in the worlds that they can access, because they are all like double signs. Like, especially take a look at the glyph for Gemini and the glyph for Pisces. Like, they are all like twinning. So they really do come with a posse of ideas and beliefs and connection with themselves and one another. So really, like, if you're not entertaining, it's fine. They just move along because they'll entertain themselves. Pisces and Sagittarius overlaps at I was totally listening. That's my husband. Sagittarius rising, Pisces stellium, including his sun and his Saturn and his Mars. No. Ooh. Yeah, I think. Not the point. Okay, keep moving. All right, next we have Sagittarius and Virgo, and where they overlap is I know everything. Not just I know the answer to this thing. I know the answer to all things. Whether or not they feel the need to put that information out in the world, it varies sign to sign. But let me know how this has landed for you. I would love to hear what your thoughts are when it comes to things like the modalities. Do you feel like you are your mode? Do you feel like you are your quality? Does it go like, yeah, that's me, you just called me out? Let's look at the chat. Yeah. Yes. Good. Okay, great. I think my Mars and Venus in Aries is feeling the Saturn in Aries. I believe that, Melly. I believe that. Yeah. Yep. Gemini sun. Yep. Ha. Hubby. I know. Hashtag hubby. I know. Y'all. He's so, that's why I call him Captain Mutable. He is Captain Mutable. It's true. And I'm Queen Cardinal. You're about to see my chart, and you will see I am all the Cardinal. And I couldn't help it if I wanted to. I'm also born in 8 numerologically. It's like just all of that energy. Okay, but so the reason I really like looking at the modalities is because it is such a cool way to look at how the signs connect with one another in a way other than element. Like across the chart wheel from one another. And one of the things we're going to be taking a look at in this main part of today is the way that the woo weather sometimes lands early for us, depending on our sign, it's more depending on the relationship between our primary signs, like the ones in the life car. So like your rising is the driver of your life car. The navigator, of course, is your sun. The backseat driver is your moon, helping everybody's needs get met. And this trio, they're all in signs that relate to one another, and also to everything else in your chart, and to everything that's transiting. And so when I started noticing that, like, I keep getting my woo early, I'm feeling the vibe of whatever that thing is before it's happening. And is it just because I'm looking at my calendar, and when I look at my calendar, it makes me aware of what's coming, so I feel it happening? Or am I actually getting my woo early? Like, what is that? And so I looked into it, studied it, learned about it. Now I'm going to share it with you. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. I saw that, baby. Thank you. I was just talking about you, Keith. It's landing huge. Me and people I've spent a lot of time with via relationships. Yep. Yep. Feeling my MC is feeling the Saturn in Aries, and it is a maze. Melissa, that makes me very happy. I'm very cardinal, says Megan, just not keen on being leader or seen. I get it. I get it, especially if there's something else in your life car that's not cardinal. I don't know that situation because mine is cardinal. So it's like the whole life car is just like, I'm going to lead. I'm going to just let me do it. But if you've got something in your life car other than cardinal, especially in that big 3, it can be really challenging to be perceived as a leader that you are not asking to be. That's one of the relationships that we have to reconcile in living out our chart, right? No mutable in my car, 2 fixed. Car driver is cardinal, and I feel it. I have inspiration, and then I get fixed stuck. Yeah, Melissa, that is real. One of the most effective things that I can say to anyone when we're working in a client session is, let's go to the fixed parts of your chart and find out what is trying to keep you stuck or what is trying to keep you upholding what is, because that part of your chart is not wrong and it's not bad. It's doing what it came here to do. But sometimes we are ready to make moves that the fixed part of our chart is not ready to make. And so we have to go and like massage it out of them and say, you know, come on, what would it be like possibly if we were to do something a little different or make a little change? Wouldn't it be cool? You know, and depending on what sign it is that we're trying to entice out of that fixedness for just a moment, we use different bait. But good, I'm glad to know that this is helpful for y'all. And I hope the visuals were cute. I was like, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I went, I think I need a visual, and I started playing with it, and then I went, oh, I'm not happy with how these little circles, or I want to, and then I went, you got to stop. This is going to be the visuals, or there are no visuals, because now you need to get some sleep. And so there it is. Same for you. Okay, good. I'm so glad that y'all are able to support one another and see one another in all of this and go, yep, that is very, very real. Right on. Okay, so we are going to do some, let me see here. I want to move this to a new window. There we go. Excellent. So this will allow me to continue to see your chat while I share my screen. My screen a go. Okay, excellent. That should work. Okay, cool. Good. I'm glad you love the visuals. Excellent. That makes me very happy because I canvas my happy place. I really enjoy. Oh, I have a survey question to ask y'all before anything else. Could you please put in the chat, because my team and I need to know the answer to this question. Do you like to print things that I give you, like workbooks and handouts and images like that? Because we're going to be rolling out a new offer, and I'm trying to decide if I want to make it like super saturated, really colorful and really gorgeous, but then it would kill your printer to have to print that much ink onto the paper. But would you like super saturated colors and beautiful to look at, and you're just going to look at it as a PDF, or go get it printed like at a, what is a Kinko's called now, a FedEx store, whatever, one of the office supply stores that does printing professionally? Or do you prefer light color, more words, less graphics, because we're going to be printing at home and we don't want to kill our printer with the experience? Please let me know what you prefer for your Astro goodies from me, like little report like things, or if I roll this out and it's going to be something that we can do custom, but most of the time it's going to be something that you can just get for like where you are astrologically right now, and then I'll do like some custom work as I get these out. What do you got? Love the visuals and the statements. Oh no, that was my other conversation. Sadly for the environment, yes, you do like to print. Okay, I print too, but I don't print the saturated color pages. Like I will leave those out and then just print the text part. I think my team is going to do like an actual survey on this to find out what I should do for this offer. But I just figured while I have y'all, let me ask. Absolutely, I print almost everything. I can go to a printer if needed. Okay, great. Okay. And yes, print, love seeing your colors on screen, but would love a black and white option too. So that may be, Jeannie, you may be onto something with that. We were talking about one or the other, and what it may be is like when you order it, we may make it so that you can order one or the other, or maybe we just give you both when you place the order, and then you can choose what to do with them. That might be the way to go. I would like to print it as soon as I get my printer situation sorted out. Light colors, more words, please, but you know I will adapt. Okay. All right. Cool. So y'all have me no better off than I was when I started with this, which is, I don't know. We'll figure it out, because there's no like because we had to make sure, because I'm Gen X, y'all. I got to find out what do the younger people like to do. I know I like hard copy everything. I still got a hard copy calendar. I still got, like, I take notes like this. I write checks. I still write checks, y'all. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Good. Excellent. I can print color and black and white on my printer. Okay. Fabulous. Good. Yes to both. Got it. Great. Okay. Cool. Now, here's what we're going to talk about. I get my woo early, and I want to know why. And the reason why is because some of the things that are happening out in the woo weather actually are pushing harder on us astrologically than others. There are things that are breathing down our neck in certain ways. And here's the thing that you can start doing right now today to see if this is true for you. Just notice the sign the moon is about to move into. So we just had our Gemini new moon last night. So the next moon is going to be Cancer. That Cancer moon tends to make us more sensitive, more emotional, more comfort food craving. We take things personally more, and we feel everybody else's emotions in weird ways, even if that's not like our typical way of being. So if anytime today or early tomorrow you start already feeling like that, you may get your woo early. And then let's see, by Leo moon, which is the one that comes after Cancer, and that one happens late afternoon or mid-afternoon on Friday, would you start feeling by Thursday night or Friday morning, before we've left Cancer moon, would you start feeling more brave, because here comes Leo moon, and more see me, I got to get out in front of people. I'm going to share that opinion. I'm not going to hold it to myself. Not that Cancer is shy and holding things to themselves all the time. It's just the emotion of that Cancer moon can make us less likely to do something that could be misconstrued, whereas Leo moon's not worried about that. Leo moon's like, yeah, get me out there. I got stuff to say. So just like start to notice as the moon changes signs every couple of days, if you feel like you're picking it up early. And that'll be the quick and dirty way to test for yourself how that actually works. Yes, excellent. Okay, Jen, hard copy everything. Yep. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, good. So here's what we look for. I'm going to show you on my... We're going to first take a look at natal. Yes, we're going to first take a look at natal, and then we're going to take a look at natal with transiting things. And I'm going to show you how to do that at a website. So am I right now sharing my screen and you can see my chart wheel? I hope. I think you can. Thought that I'm early, but this is a great suggestion to track it easily. Yes, the moons, VO, really help a great deal. The ability to just track the moons changing from one element to the next, or like we just talked about, modalities. You know, right now we're in the Gemini moon, which is mutable. And then we go into the Cancer moon, which is cardinal. And then we go into the Leo moon, which is fixed. Right there, we get all three of those modalities. Maybe we can track it that way. Like, how does that make you feel? But, okay, so we're going to take a look at that. Cool. All right, so first I'm going to just take a look at my chart by itself. So you have your chart wheel. I have my chart wheel. We all have our chart wheel. If you don't have your chart wheel, you're going to go over to astro.com and create your chart, because you can do that easily at this site for free, which is amazing. And I'm going to show you at both my app, this is Astro Gold, and the astro.com page site, what to look for. And if you use some other kind of app, you can figure out what it is that we're looking for with any of these. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a look at the grid, which is on this section right here. I just went from wheel to grid in my app. Let me go ahead and do this simultaneously at Astro. Like if I want to go to free horoscopes at Astro, and then I want to go to a horoscope drawing and data, and then I want to go to extended chart selection, and I know that was all really fast, but I want to do extended chart selection because I want to change from default house to whole sign house. Okay, great. That is the thing I want to toggle to, and then I'm going to show the chart, and it is my chart here. Okay, so what I showed you on my Astro Gold app, when I clicked to grid, I got this cool little situation right here. See, this is like a staircase. If we only looked at this bottom part here, that's the staircase part. When we get to this one on astro.com, same Z's. It's this guy right here. This is this staircase that we're looking for. This is going to be where we get the real tea on what in our natal chart is most sensitive to feeling things early or maybe later, never. Okay, so here's what we're going to look for. The first thing we're going to look for is the little conjunct, little bomb looking thing. So this looks like a cherry bomb to me. Does that look like a cherry bomb to you? This little circle with a little, that's like a wick. So it's like a little cherry bomb. It's like a little, yeah, just like a little circle with a little wick. That is conjunct. That means two planets are right on top of each other. But what we're going to start looking at is the numbers, these tiny little numbers and these tiny little letters that are around these things. So what we want to do is start with the farthest thing out we can find that has a conjunction to something closer in. And so, you know, like Pluto's far out. I don't have any conjunctions. Neptune, none. Uranus, none. Saturn, none. Jupiter. I have a Jupiter conjunction. So I have a Jupiter conjunction with my moon. So this is Jupiter and my moon. They are conjunct, but if we take a look at these numbers, we've got 8A32. Are y'all seeing that? 8A32. And if I want to go over to astro.com, it just says 8A. It in fact says 9A. They rounded up. 9A with that cherry bomb. Okay, y'all finding that? I can zoom in a little more, I think, in this one. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. Hopefully that gets you a little more. Okay, cherry bomb, 9A. So when you find anything like that, what you're doing is you are measuring with these numbers, 8, or in the case of the astro.com, it gave me a 9 because it didn't give me the 32 minutes. The 8 is how many degrees away this conjunction is. Okay, so for me, I've got a Jupiter conjunction with the moon in my natal chart, and if we go back to the wheel, we can see it, because right there's the moon and there's Jupiter. They're hanging out together right there, but they are 8 degrees apart, and that is what that 8 means at the start of that little code, that little pin code that we get there. Like, what does that unlock? I'll tell you what it unlocks. It unlocks the story of how close these things actually are. The number 8 is how many degrees away, or in this case, it's 8 degrees, 32 minutes away. And then the letter A means applying. Now, applying means that something is coming closer to something else. And I'm going to come off of sharing my screen for a second so that I can give you like a really good indication with my hands, because I talk with my hands, and it's Gemini season, so we're going to celebrate talking with hands. All right, so here we go. You've got a planet here, you've got another planet here. The faster planet is going to be moving toward the slower planet, okay? And as that faster planet moves toward the slower planet, on our natal chart, there's a picture that's taken at this exact moment where we have how many degrees between this one and this one. And this one is applying to this one because it is coming toward this one. So in this case, I've got a moon that is applying to Jupiter. But if I had been born a little later in the day, my moon would be on the other side of my Jupiter, because Jupiter is very slow. And so it's not going to change degrees in a day. But the moon is going to move like 12, 13 degrees in a day. So depending on how many hours later I was born, it would put my moon maybe still in Libra, maybe still conjunct Jupiter, but now it's not going to be an A, it's going to be an S, because that S means the faster planet is separating from the slower planet. So that's the formula, is always faster planet, something, slower planet. And so the something, we were to go in with the cherry bomb, right? And that cherry bomb is the conjunction. Don't you like that I give you like really great labels for these visuals? Tell me if that is like clicking for you, because now we're going to move over and take a look at the square. So again, I'm going to start with what is my farthest out planet that has a square with something close in. And I'm going to say, oh, here's Neptune, has a square with my Venus. Okay, that is a relationship we want to take a look at, because that Neptune is a far out planet, and Venus, not only a close in planet, but also my chart ruler, because I have Libra rising. And so I really want to pay attention to what's happening with her. And so the square, good news, we don't have to look for a cherry bomb anymore. We just look for a square. Square is a square. Okay, so we're looking for the square. And we've got that square between Neptune and Venus. And if I want to go over to astro.com, I can see the same thing here. I take Neptune and I go all the way across to where we get to that square. And then we've got Venus right there. Okay? So here we have, it's a -1 and the letter S. And when we go over to the Astro software, we've got a 0 and an S, 46. So it is a square of 0 degrees, 46 minutes. And because astro.com rounds up and doesn't do the minutes, it did -1. And so what it's doing by giving the negative is it's showing separating rather than applying. And so in this case, yes, Neptune is here, and I've got Venus moving toward Neptune because it is the slower planet of the two. But Venus has already passed the exact moment of the square and is separating from that square. So she still feels that pressure, because a square is pressure between two angles, but she is separating from it instead of applying to it. So I just want to check in to make sure that you get the difference between faster planet moving toward a slow planet applying, or moving away from separating. And yes, retrograde makes a difference. And yes, there's a lot of layers we could do on this, but I want to just make sure that you were clear on those couple of things right there. Haven't felt anything yet, though, Danielle says, for Saturn transiting first house. Transit's still recent. Yeah, Danielle, depending on where your rising is, it may take a little while for you to get the memo that Saturn has moved into your first house. There are always things that when we look back at the time, we can say, oh yeah, that happened. But as it's happening, it's a little harder to pay attention to, because it's kind of like growth spurts. It's why families write the little heights on the door frame. Like when you're growing up and they say, stand up against this door, we're going to measure you, and then we're going to put a line. Like, did your folks do that? Where you've got like, this is how tall you are at each start of the grade each year in school, or whenever on your birthday that you're measured. I don't know, whatever the traditions are. We didn't do that. Because by the time that would have been something fun to do, the family had just gone, and it was me and my mom against the world, and we were like, how are we going to afford to live? So there were far fewer little things like that going on at home than probably went on for my brothers and their upbringing. But I would assume that's a pretty standard thing that exists, is like measuring how tall you are. That is like, because it's really easy to see the progress over time when you've got something like that you can mark. But as it's happening, you're not noticing that you're growing, and it won't be until you take score with the last time that you're able to go, oh, I see that. So that's for that Saturn transit, possibly going to be the way that is. Okay, so Melissa says, Mercury applying 1 degree Pluto in Virgo, house 3, and Saturn applying 0 degrees square Mars in Taurus. Saturn would not be applying to Mars. Mars would be applying to Saturn, because the faster planet goes first, even if it is moving away. But then that would be called separating. So here's what we want to pay attention to when we are looking at applying and separating things. We want to take a look at, is there a letter A or is there a letter S? And what we want to start tracking is anything that is applying, and we're about to go do this with transits. And so I'm going to show you how we use this outside of the natal chart. I just wanted you to first look at your natal chart where we don't have as much data and see if you can just track those relationships. Okay, so there's that. Okay, cool. Got it. Once you go through your staircase table and hit maybe with a highlighter all of the, oh, that may actually be something I can do on screen. Hit all of the A's for applying, then you know that that's the pressure that you're going to feel. And we're going to do it for conjunctions, and we're going to do it for squares, and we're also going to do it for oppositions. So let's look at oppositions before I go to the next stage of this teach. Back at my screen now, I'm going to see what do I have an opposition of that is far away to something closer in. And I've got Chiron is an opposition to my Uranus, but that's like Uranus is farther away than Chiron, and I mean, and they're really neighbors. Yeah, they're not all that. I'm not going to count that one. I'm going to see, do I have any oppositions? And I don't have any natal oppositions except for that one, so that would be the only one I could count. So just for shiggles, which is shits and giggles combined, just for shiggles, I'm going to go ahead and use that one as a teaching example. So for opposition, it's a barbell. So this one now is, okay, like the conjunction was a cherry bomb. This one's going to have a two-sided bomb. So that is going to be the dumbbell, the barbell. Let's look at it over here at astro.com. We've got that as a one. Let me see, what is that one? Oh, that's a nodal opposition. Let's look at Chiron for the one that I'm looking at on my screen. There, right there. See that guy right there is, in fact, an opposition. All right, so the three aspects that we're looking for are conjunct, square, and opposition, because those are considered hard angles. Yes, you can do this with trines, you can do it with sextiles, you can do it with all the different angles that you want, but for the purpose of this teach, we're going to use the three hard angles, which are conjunct, can't miss it, it's right on top of you. The square, ooh, that pressure is up against that angle there. Or the opposition, and that is in fact an oppositional experience. Somebody has the exact opposite point of view of the other. And so for my Chiron and Uranus opposition, we see this is a 5-degree 20-minute applying. And so that would be that Chiron is applying to Uranus. And again, I would not probably use Chiron except for the fact that it's the only one I can in this teach. But you can also see that relationship here. My Uranus natally is at 5 degrees and my Chiron is at 10 degrees, and they're in opposite signs, Aries and Libra. Okay, what we're going to do next, and I'm going to show you how to do this in astro.com first, because I know everybody has access to this and you may not have access to other tools. And I'm going to go back to, let's take this down to full size. I'm going to go back to where I began with we go to free horoscopes, extended chart selection, and then I make sure I change my house system to whole signs, just because it's easier. And now I want to add something. So this is where you're going to get jiggy with it. What we want to track, we're not going to do additional objects. We're not going to do, okay, I don't need any of these expanded menus. What I want to do is, instead of the chart type being natal chart wheel, I want to actually drop down to the section that's in all caps, prognostic methods, and I want to choose transits. And the kind of transits I want are natal chart and transits. If you are advanced, you can also do progressions. You can do, I mean, like, go nuts. I am going to do natal charts and transits. Okay, you with me? So I've made two changes in the expanded chart area. One of them was to get the sign, the house system changed to whole sign houses, and then under chart type, I changed to natal chart and transits. So now I'm going to go show the chart again, and this time it's still my natal chart, but it has this cute section of green ink. I know it's not ink. Is it? If I printed it, it would be ink. I've got all this green around the outside showing me the transits to my natal chart. So I want to make sure I didn't lose you with that. We've got these transits to the natal chart in green. And if we scroll down, we see the green is also written in here. You've got a transit column that just got plopped right there. And now what we're going to have is a relationship to these transits that we want to pay attention to. And now I want to go into my cool Astro software, and I want to use the right now time, same as we did for that at Astro, but it puts an entire extra chart wheel around instead of just doing a light decoration of the planets around the chart wheel. We get a whole chart on top of it. And when I go to over here to the grid, we get a nice big clear picture of the current transits and how they are impacting me at this moment. Okay, so we're going to take a look at, same as we did before, the farthest out stuff affecting the closest in stuff. So we're going to take a look at transits, which is what's being looked at over on this side here. And we're going to start at Pluto. And do we have a conjunction between Pluto and anything in my close in? No, but we do have an opposition. We have a Pluto opposition to my Mars natally. Then I'm going to say, all right, that is now something I need to decide. Am I going to start feeling that yet? It is going to be 7 degrees away. 7 degrees 55 minutes is how far away it is right now. And it's listed as applying. And this is where I say, aha, the reason it's listed as applying, because I'm like, hang on, Pluto's over here in Aquarius. How can it be in opposition to my Mars, which is in Cancer? Pluto's done with Capricorn. But Pluto is retrograde right now. And Pluto retrograde is moving back toward this opposition with my Mars. The nerve, right? But remember that number 7 degrees 55 minutes. That's forever away when it comes to Pluto. For Pluto, like, I want to pay attention to you when you are 0 or 1 or maybe 2 or 3, because that's going to take a year already. So I'm done with these oppositions, and that orb, I'm going to say, is too great for me to be worried about. I'm not going to be worried about any of it, because why would I worry? But now I'm going to move on to Neptune, and I'm going to see that Neptune has a conjunction to my Chiron. Nah, that's 8 degrees applying. That's not a thing. Then we've got an opposition to my Uranus, but Uranus is not a close-in planet. So I'm not going to really worry about this one. Again, I'm not going to worry about any of it. I don't know why I've chosen that to be my word. Maybe you're worrying about things, and I don't want you to worry about things. Even though it is a 3-degree opposition, it is applying. Neptune is creating some impact on my Uranus. Uranus is not a personal planet, so it's not doing something to me to that big a degree, and no pun intended using the word degree there. I want to look at things that are like serious impact. So here we go. I'm going to go Uranus. That is an outer planet. Do you have a hard angle to something that is close in my chart? Oh my God, yes you do. You have Uranus. And applying, see the letter A, square, see the square? 1 degree and 14 minutes. That is close. On my damn chart ruler, Venus. I'm feeling that. I am definitely feeling that. Uranus is in an applying square to my chart ruler Venus. And what does this impact feel like? What is the impact of it? How does this feel? So a square is pushing up against one another in a corner, like you're trying to keep the ceiling on your room and the roof on your house, and you need those pressure points, those corners to come together. So there is positive pressure, but they can also feel like lived pressure. Uranus says, where am I not free? Uranus says, where do I need to explode the reality of now and maybe even shock you in how I do it, because this is not what freedom looks like. And it's doing that pushed up against my chart ruler, Venus. And Venus is my love, money, enoughness. It's my value system. It is the things that I value. It's my love. It's my chart ruler. So I am having a pretty intense push right there of Uranus on my chart ruler saying, is your love, money, enoughness relationship as free as we know it could be? And if not, Uranus is going to help it get free. Oh my, I'm going to be feeling that. That's a time. Let's go see what y'all got, and then I'm going to show you how to get into the nitty-gritty on the astro.com version for those of you who would like to watch me mark that up that way. Let me see what questions you might have. I'm having a dumb moment. What's with the negative numbers just with the natal chart? In astro.com, they're using the negative numbers as almost like a reinforcement of, I think, wait, hang on. Oh, okay. I think it is number of degrees. No, it's not always with separating though, is it? I'm sorry. I thought the negative meant like the negative was another way that it was doing separating. Let me see. Applying negative. Good question. This is where I don't use astro.com enough to know. And I'm just going to look at other points in my chart to see if I can figure out what the negative is. Are you going to tell me? Like if I clicked on it, would you tell me? Oh, you just clicked on the chart itself. That's great. I was hoping that if I clicked on it, it would give me a little pop-up piece of information. I don't know. I will find out and come say in the comment. Yeah, I'll say so in the comments. I will find out the answer for you. Yeah, I see it with applying and separating as well. Yeah. I will come back to that. I will make myself a note on an actual piece of paper to find out neg, degree, notation in astro.com. What does it mean? Okay, I will take care of you. I will find out. I'll find out for all of us. Which website are you using? I'll just use that instead. I was actually using my own app, AstroGold, but let's stick with astro.com because AstroGold is a professional astrology app that is not cheap. So I want to make sure that I'm using something that is free and free to access so that y'all can enjoy it that way. Let me show you where we can mark this up a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of put a pin in the negative number and maybe we'll stumble across it during this conversation. Don't know. That would be fun. That would be fun. Okay, so we're back to, I think, yes, we're back to my share screen and I'm still on astro.com. And what I'm going to do is I want to take a look at this thing right here, the PDF drawing for subscribers and the PDF additional tables. Those sections up here at the top of the chart, we want the one that is called PDF additional tables because that is going to open up in a separate tab a PDF version of everything that's on that table. So now we're going to be able to get in a little more. Oh, maybe here, will it share what the negative means here? Do I have a key? 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 I do not have a key. Damn it. I was hoping I had a key. Okay. All right. So this is, again, the natal chart and transits for today, which you can do as a free subscriber at astro.com. So there's nothing about this that should feel like, oh, I can't do that. I can't access that. This one you can. This was the option for the additional tables. So I'm scrolling to the second page because I want to go to the last section, which is natal chart transits. And I want to take a look at the same kind of information that I just pulled from before, which is the transits are going to be over here on the side. And you can tell because it says TR. Let me see if I can increase the size on this a little and help us all see better. Oh my gosh, yes I can. I can almost fill the whole screen with that. Yay, look it. Oh, okay, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I embiggened it. Excellent. So the TR over here, tiny, tiny TR, means transiting. And then the NAT across the top, all of that says natal, 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 natal. So what we're looking at is the relationship between the current transits and the natal planets. Okay, the current woo weather and your natal chart. So I'm again going to take a look for where do I see a conjunction, a square, or an opposition from a far out planet transiting to a close in planet in my chart, because I am going to be feeling that. I will be feeling it personally. And when I say close in, I'm talking Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars. Let's go with those 5, because those are ones that you can actually feel those. Oh, and also your ascendant. So your rising, your midheaven, those points are very sensitive. Your north node, that would be one to look at as well. Those are all ones that I would say if there's something transity going on, we want to maybe get out ahead of that, which is the whole point of this conversation. So here we go. I'm going to take a look at Pluto, and I'm going to go across. Pluto has a 9-degree opposition to my Mercury. That is too far away. I'm not going to be worried about that. Again, with my word worried. This 7-degree opposition to my Mars, not going to be worried about that. This 7-degree square to my Jupiter, not going to be worried about that. Do you know why I'm not going to be worried about any of that? Because Pluto made me his bitch from 2008 to 2022. We're done now. We're done. We're done. Pluto finished his time in Capricorn, where he was either the entire time opposing my Cancer stellium or squaring my Libra stellium, and I got no break. We are now done. We're not counting any of these because they're too far away, and they're out of sign anyway, because Pluto is in Leo, which means he would have to cross back into, Pluto is in Aquarius, and he would have to cross back into Capricorn in order to actually be in a cardinal sign where he could fuck with my shit again. So we're good. We did our time. We're 2008 to 2022. We're good. Check. Done. Okay. All right. Next up, we take a look at Neptune. Neptune, do we have any hard angles? Woo, right here we have Neptune is 3 degrees to an opposition to my natal Uranus. And I'm not going to count that because Uranus is not a close-in planet. Good to know, but that's not going to really affect me. So then we go, how about the opposition to Pluto natally? No. And how about the conjunction 8 degrees to Chiron? No. So we're good with all of those. Now let's go to Uranus. Uranus. Remember, we're looking for conjunction, square, or opposition. We found a square to an inner planet in my natal chart, which is Venus, at 1 degree, 17 minutes, and that letter A applying. Let me use a tool. Let me use a tool. Yes, I'm going to use a tool. Hopefully this will work. All right, wish me luck. It worked. Look at that, it worked. It worked. Can you see my highlighter? Can you? If you can't see my highlighter, I will. Let's also. Let's go. Let's see what it would be like if I draw. Okay. That's too thick a line. Okay, go a little thinner. How about that? Okay, good. So we're looking at that sucker right there. Dude! Okay, that is a really thick line. I'm just making it thicker. Let's see. Does undo work? Undo? It does. That is so much fun. Okay, let's make it a little bit thinner. Y'all can tell moon's in Gemini during Gemini season. All right, so there we go. The highlighter is visible. Okay, great. Super. Well, just in case it's not, now I got a big pink fuchsia circle around it. So that is the first thing that I'm going to be paying attention to. In my natal chart, I have Venus in a place where transiting Uranus is in a square with 1 degree, 17-minute distance, and it's applying that letter A. So those are the things we're looking for. That letter A means applying, means if I am already feeling twitchy about my love, money, enoughness, my values, my whole system for what I put into like everything I do, because it's my chart ruler. It's like how I make my decisions, how I move through the world is feeling pushed up against in this square by Uranus, the planet of are we free? Because if we're not, I can blow things up. So I'm like, ooh, okay, good to know that Uranus is possibly going to make me a little trigger happy. Maybe jumping the gun a little bit. I don't know why I'm using war metaphors, but go with it. That there could be this energy that feels like I do not feel free and I've got to break free. How can I do that without actually, taking a pin out of a hand grenade and throwing it into my whole life? Because I don't really want to explode my whole life. But maybe doing some things that make me feel more free financially and in my love life and in how I value things and my valuables. That could be interesting. Okay, so now let's switch back over to the highlighter. Oh, these tools are so cute. Okay, so we're switched back over to the highlighter because now we're going to go across and see if I have anything else. I have a Uranus conjunction coming to my natal Saturn. Actually, with the letter S, it's separating, it's leaving, so that is over. I actually already had Uranus conjunct my natal Saturn. That happened a few years ago. So that's not a thing. And also, once I move to this point, I'm out of those inner planets, and we only wanted to look at those inner planets or over here to my ascendant and my midheaven. Okay, and possibly the north node. All right, so now let's take a look at Daddy Saturn. Is Daddy Saturn sneaking up on me anywhere? No, just to Uranus, just to Pluto. We're good. Me and Daddy Saturn, we're good. We're good. I'm coming up on my second Saturn return in the next couple of years, so we'll get a visit then. But no, it's 5 years from now, 3.5 years from now. It's a while. It's my late 50s, and I'm 54 right now, so I got a minute. Okay, let's look at Jupiter. Is Jupiter doing anything? No, square to Uranus, trine, far away, separating from my ascendant. No, that's it. So those are the big ticket items. And when I say those, I mean, that's it. That's it. Now, because I am in a Mars ruled year by perfection, I may want to see what Mars is up to, but Mars moves quickly. So these aren't going to be like big, long, years long transits. So do I have transiting Mars doing anything interesting? Let's look for, that's a square applying to my Saturn. Okay, Mars and Saturn, you know, what Mars does happens every 2 years. So every 2 years I get this little relationship thing. It's fine. Between the two malefics. That's okay. And then to my natal Neptune, which is a far out planet. So no, not so much. To my rising, to my midheaven. No, we're good. So we're cool on all that. I don't need to be too concerned about how any of that works. So I'm going to now, just with this knowledge, say, I want to pay attention to when Uranus gets closer to my natal Venus. And again, it's a square, so it's never going to get right on top. But now if we go back out to the chart wheel and take a look at how does that look, right here we have Uranus at 27 degrees Taurus, and my natal Venus is at 29 degrees Leo. And so they are, as Uranus gets closer and closer to 29 degrees, about to be in a perfect square. And as it gets to that point of perfection, meaning just the same degree, there is possibly going to be something that I notice, especially when it comes to the pressure that I'm feeling around those relationships. And I really want to pay attention to it because it's happening in fixed signs. And when we were talking about the fixed signs previously, when we were talking about all the modalities, the fixed signs especially uphold what is. So how do you think a fixed sign feels about Uranus coming in and saying, let's do some shaking things up? Not great. Not great. And specifically between Leo, where my Venus is, and Taurus, where Uranus is, the relationship overlap is let's get physical. Ooh, so could I be going through like a physical change? Do I want to do something new with my hair? Do I want to change my whole plan with makeup, which is like actually wear some rather than just a tiny little bit, because that's usually what I do. I don't know. This could be interesting. I will be taking notes and I will be paying attention to what comes of all that. How we feel about all this? I know it's a lot. And I know when I share like the big deep dive things, I'm trying to give you a surface visual of it, but this one is a pretty advanced thing, or at least intermediate level 2. But I want you to benefit from it. So I want to make sure that if you've got questions, I can help. And I want to make sure you leave here knowing how to use it, which is in your natal chart, anything that's within a couple degrees and it's a hard aspect, conjunct, square, opposition, and has the letter A applying, which means moving closer to one another, that you notice that relationship. Notice they are in the same modality, right? Conjunct, square, opposition. All of those are in the same modality, which is the first part of what we shared. Look at that. It went together after all. My little secret, I think I'll do a few Canvas slides teach at the top, actually goes together. And when planets are in signs of the same modality, they have something in common with the way that they see the world and what they do with what they see in the world. Remember, cardinal signs, they lead, they start shit, they get things moving in a forward direction. They're always looking for, where are we headed? Where are we headed? As leaders, that's what we got to do. We got to pay attention to not where we were in the past. Where are we headed now? Yes, learn from the past, but we're headed into the future. The fixed signs, I uphold what is. I actually look at the history of everything and I make sure that we are maintaining it, because that is what works. That's what we're here to do, is maintain the status quo. And only when there's something really drastic that changes things do the fixed signs go, okay, I guess I will alter a little bit of what I'm here to uphold. And then at the other end of the spectrum, there are the mutable signs. And the mutables say, we are all changing all the time, period. And not even period, because period is too end of a sentence. We want always semicolon, always ... Oh my God, I'm just realizing my husband never finishes a sentence with a period. He either leaves no punctuation whatsoever or he goes ... So mutable. All right, let me see. This is helpful. Mars is applying at 3 degrees 76 minutes. My natal Mars in Leo, keeping my eye on it. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, you're about to have your Mars return, Melissa. And we get our Mars return every 2 years-ish. And I like using that Mars return as a reset for what motivates me, what I have passion for, and how active I want to be in going and getting it. I got 3 Mars returns this year because of the retrograde. Not cute. I was actually looking last night at my lifetime of Mars returns. Yes, this is something I do. I look at my entire lifetime of planetary returns and I put them on the calendar. And I was looking at my Mars returns, and I only have in my entire life 2 Mars returns that I get 3 hits of because of retrograde. And this most recent one was one of those. Not 76 minutes. Okay. Then 76 what? 3 degrees what? What you mean? If not 76 minutes. I know that's not a thing. You mean like 76 100ths? That could be what you mean. Any questions about anything before we go? 1, 2, 3 says the clock. Applying versus separating. Natal, transiting to natal. Hard aspects, farther out, transiting to closer in. Numbers closer to 0. Modality. And do you print your horoscope PDFs or not? Okay, I'm done. You set your Gemini new moon intentions. I hope. You still can do it. You still can do it if you haven't done it yet. Use that light of the new moon coming out of the darkness. Set your intentions for Gemini-y things. How can you stay curious? How can you bring the humor? How can you bring the musicality? How can you do things with your hands to help things change, because mutable sign? How can you have more fun with it? How can you stay curious? How can you stay curious? Hell if I know. Give me a few. Less than 4 degrees. I got you. I got you, Melissa. I got you. Not seeing the little numbers and letters in Astro on the phone. Is it just on the computer? Jeannie, if you tell it to expand to the PDF version, you should be able to zoom in and see them because they're in the little staircase table. But I've not used the mobile app in a while on astro.com, so they may have shifted what kind of chart they present you with mobily. Yeah. So, okay, what do we do if we don't have numbers or we can't see the numbers? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to eyeball it. So I'm going to do one little quickie here before we go. So again, I'm looking at the transits of the now to my natal chart. And even without this grid look that gives me the exact numbers and the shapes and all those things, if it's applying or separating, I can get a sense of it right here. So, for example, Mars is moving from 18 degrees into larger degrees. Remember, all of the planets go counterclockwise unless they're retrograde or they're the nodes, and the nodes are always moving opposite the rest of the world. Not always. They wobble. They change constantly. But that's another conversation. The Mars at 18 degrees, 51 minutes Leo is moving closer and closer to a conjunction with my natal Venus at 29 degrees Leo. And so I can take a look at that and just know from my head, we are coming close to a conjunction because we've got Mars moving toward the fixed point that is my natal Venus at 29 degrees Leo. We know that that's a fixed point because I was only born that one time that I know of, and for at least this chart. And then we know that it is fixed there and Mars is moving toward it. Mars is moving toward it from, looks like 9 degrees away. So that would be one that I say I'm not feeling that yet. But as Mars gets closer to a smaller number away, or in this case, a larger degree, so it's moving closer to 29 degrees, I know I will start feeling it early. And so if I want to actually use these fun parts of this app and go, when will transiting Mars be conjunct my natal Venus? It is going to happen on June 15th of 2025. So I bet that's a Sunday. I bet the whole week before that, I'm going to be feeling the heat of that Mars coming up on my chart ruler Venus, because Venus is the planet that I am most sensitively connected with. It's a horse race. It's between Venus and the moon. My log line / hashtag is Venus ruled moon baby, because you can't have as much Cancer as I do and not be a moon baby. But I am Venus ruled, and I have all that Libra, which is of course Venus ruled, and my Saturn is in Taurus, which is Venus ruled. So there's a lot of that. But I'm definitely going to be feeling that, and we'll probably start feeling it the week before, because if we just take it back a day, we see each day Mars is moving half a degree, 4/10 of a degree, until we get to back where we are today. And that's where we are today. Does that help? Like, if you can't see the letters or numbers, you can just use your natal chart and notice what is happening, what's coming towards something. If you want to measure whether it's a square, remember that the square is always going to be the same modality. And modality is that fun stuff that we covered at the top. And that's also opposition is going to be the same modality. Okay, cool. We'll play with this again because there's a lot to it. We will play with it again. We will have fun with it. All right, you beautiful people. I updated bonniegillespie.com/events, so I hope you will go check. I have added the topics for the next couple of live streams, and I've gotten those scheduled at YouTube, so they are already in the queue of I'm going to be going live, so you can set up the little thing at YouTube to notify you if you don't already have that set up. But I've got a couple coming in June. One is going to be about Jupiter moving into Cancer, which I'm so freaking excited about. Oh, that's going to be amazing. Oh, Jupiter in Cancer for a whole year. And it's the Beyonce placement. Y'all know I love a Beyonce placement. So good. I'm also going to do a live stream about void moons during the big ass void moon we're having in late June. And I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, every month I do Use Your Moons, where we do the calendar together of the month ahead, taking a look at the moon moving through all the signs and what that means each of the days might be best for in terms of energy. So you can set up like stuff that you know that you want to do and be seen. We will set it up during moons that are going to be seen. And things where you're like, I don't need anybody eyes on my stuff, we will save for the days that are no people days. And we will do a little bit of that together in June. All of that is up at bonniegillespie.com/events. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for being here live during the chat. I love you all. Thank you for watching in replay, those of you who have just joined for that. I will come back around to the comments, mainly because I have to answer the question, what does the negative degree notation mean in astro.com? I will find that out for you. Will we be able to see the lovely Canva visuals you presented the day? Love how you phrase things, the interactions, etc. You want to download them? I can get those to you. Let's do it at Discord. This will be a really good reason for people to come to Discord. Come to the Chart Harmony Discord, where you can get the slides from today. Yeah, that's fun. And I will make sure that the link to our Discord is in the description of this broadcast. I love you. 3 degrees, 36 minutes applying. Thank you. That's better. Great. I'm glad you enjoy how I phrase the things. My homespun, folksy, analogy-filled way. It's my mom. That's Charlesy. That's all her. Because Vio has been dragging her feet. Read Discord. You're going to come to Discord now. You're going to come to... I have the bait. I finally have the bait that's going to get you to Discord. I did it. I got you. You're going to come over, and then I'll give you the slides. All right. Love you, beautiful people. Stay very, very good to yourselves, especially while the world is a little wacky in how it is being to everyone. Be great to yourself. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye. Thank you for joining me. This was fun.